Hi, good afternoon, everyone. Welcome back to the channel. So we have the official launch date for Roundhill's RDTE fund. It's actually going to be September 10th, is what it looks like right now. So let's confirm this. This was just shared in the Discord a little while ago, and I'll share everything that I know about this fund and why I think it might be a good fund. Okay, so what we've got. Oops, that's not what we want to share. We've got from Roundhill's Twitter. The Roundhill Small Cap zero date expiration covered call strategy ETF is scheduled to launch for trading on Tuesday, September 10th. Mark your calendars. So there we go. Now let's actually go to the website. So Roundhill gets coverage 2 days in a row from me. How about that? Okay, let's see. I have the prospectus up for RDTE. So I think because they've got XDTE and the QDTE based on the Nasdaq and the S&P 500, this one is going to be based on the Russell, which I think is just about primed for a big run, depending on what things do. You know, the economy might or might not be going into a recession. Who knows? But if things do normalize, I think the Russell is definitely due for a really solid run up. So this is going to be weekly like the other two, and it's just going to be based on the Russell 2000. So next week, this will actually be perfect because we're having Dave Massa on from Roundhill on the launch date. Um, it was supposed to be the 9th. It's probably going to be the 10th. So that's going to be the launch date. So that is really cool. So for as far as like a barometer for performance, let's see here. So we got G-Man. Hello, welcome. Oh, wow. We got a Neil sighting. Haven't seen you in forever. All right, so let's share use Seeking Alpha. I'm still going to eventually start using another site to track the total returns. But let's look at just as a barometer of how we think that, what am I trying to say? How we think that the RDTE fund will do. Let's look at just the, what am I trying to think of? TNA. Here we go. Not TNA. What's a good like Russell 2000 fund? Just for the index. IWM, that's the one I was trying to think of, IWM. Okay, so let's look at this one. So for the past year, we're up like 13%. Year to date, we're up 5.52. We had a little bit of a run up here, but if you notice, for those of you technical analysts out there, we have an M chart. And as you know, M stands for murder, right? So from July 9th to August 5th, we literally had an M pattern in the chart for the Russell 2000. So what I'm going to do here is add in some other symbols here. We'll add in the Qs, and then let's add in QDTE, and then XDTE. Okay, so as far as performance year to date, we've got 6% for IWM, 15.73 for S&P 500, 12.35 for QQQ, minus 11% for QDTE, minus 2% for XDTE. Clearly, XDTE is the winner as far as the dividend funds here. If we look with dividends reinvested, and this is according to Seeking Alpha. I'm not responsible for the metrics they show. I'm just reporting. I know some of you all have an issue with their how they're calculating total return. But in terms of total return, 6.5% here, 15.73% here, 12.68% for the Qs. Those are our three indexes. QDTE 5%, XDTE 9.14%. So very impressive total returns for both of these. So I would assume if we look at XDTE and QDTE versus their indexes. I actually forget off the top of my head which one is which sometimes. So XDTE is the S&P 500 one. So if we compare XDTE to the S&P 500, it's lagging behind by about 6%, 6.6%. And then for the Qs, this one's lagging behind by about 7.67%. So the Russell, if this were around at the same time, the Russell would probably have a negative total return, meaning RDTE. I would think it would have a negative total return at this point. But again, this could turn out to be a great launch point because, and again, if you look, I believe that we're due for a big run up in the Russell. And see, we're basically where we're flat. We've gone up a little bit, but from July to early August, we pretty much erased everything we gained in July. but it has come back. But I do believe that this fund could be really good. Let's see here. He says, "I do watch your videos afterwards." Perfect. That's what we want you to do. We either want you to watch it before or after, or as many times as you want. The more you watch, the better. Thank you. I'm glad you feel that way. Easy D says, "Hey, coach, tell Dave we want a 3x leverage JEPI ETF that pays weekly." I'm sure he'll do that just because you said it. But I agree. I like the 3x. But you all know, if you all have been paying attention to me, one thing you all learned from class last week was that according to changes to the SEC rules, 3x leveraged ETFs in the United States are no longer legal. They can only be 2x because of rules that have changed. Um, I don't necessarily like that rule. I think as investors, we need to be responsible and invest, according to how we see fit. So you should know that 3x is a lot of leverage, it's a lot of risk. Um, so I kind of disagree with regulations that prevent anything higher than 2x. I don't know, it could have to do with the '08 crash. I don't know all the details on it, but outside of the US, they still have 3x funds. Um, Bernard here asks, when is the launch date for RTTE? I just told you at the beginning of the video, it's September 10th, and that's going to be the same day that we have Dave Massa on. Dissector wants an ETF with the ticker symbol corny. Or no, he says they're all corny. Uh, so that's Dissector's advice to the group. I think TMF is 3x. Let's look that one up because TNA is the 3x Russell 2000 fund. Let me do a comparison actually while we're at it. TNA, because I'm trying to get a barometer for how this fund is most likely going to perform. So let's do this one here. Okay. So TNA should be outperforming. Now look at this. I've never seen Seeking Alpha and the quants disagree so much. One has a buy, one has a strong sell. We can't get much further apart than that. I think we know which one Dissector would agree with, though. I don't know. He might technically Dissector. This is a growth fund. You might like this one, even though it's 3x. It's got some risk. Okay, so TNA versus TMF. Oh, this is the Direction Daily. Hold on. TMF. Direction Daily 20 plus year Treasury Bull 3x. Really, a 3x fund on Treasuries. It's kicking butt too. Look at that. Oh no, I'm sorry, that's TNA. TMF is 4.73%, and that's a 3x. I don't know if I like that one because Treasuries typically I'm just not a fan of. They're not sexy in terms of return. I like sexy returns. TNA is 18.63% with total return, 7.99% for TMF. So yeah, that one, not too keen on that one. Uh, Uh-oh, he's gone. Well, been with us for a while. All right. Well, as far as this one, that's pretty much all I had for you all. Thank you for tuning in. Like, comment, and subscribe, and we will see you all. Oh, and join Discord, by the way. And we will see you all in the next one. Take care. Bye.